Go ahead and talk for me once.
Blah, 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 blah. Talking.
Here, we're gonna go with that one.
Okay.
Okay. The order is Devin, your thing, then our thing.
Okay.
Because segues are cool.
Yeah. Well,
And then
mine is like one series of things.
Yeah.
And then I have no things. I'll just
Yes.
add to whatever you guys are talking about.
Yes.
You
You'll
probably
probably add to
have-
what Devin has.
Yeah, you'll have opinions on my
Yeah.
thing, Ryan.
Yeah, no, I will, because I saw, so, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
right.
Like, it's fine.
All right, let me take off the glasses. All right, let's get into this, shall we?
I like the blue reflection of my glasses. Like the blue.
That's great. Hey, everybody. Welcome to You Have to Watch This podcast. I'm Alan.
I'm Ryan.
And I'm Devin.
Each week here on You Have to Watch This podcast, we make each other watch movies one of us has never seen before. This week, we changed it up a little bit. This week was my pick, and I decided to make the guys watch a movie I'd never seen before. Because they should have made me watch this by now. So
I should have made you guys watch it
Yes.
by now. I should have made you.
Devin, had you seen this before?
No, never. Well, we'll get there, but no, not actually all of it.
So this episode is Ryan's fault. But yeah, so today we're talking about This is Spinal Tap in honor of its 41st anniversary and Spinal Tap 2 coming out this week. But before we get into that, we like to talk about things we've watched in pop culture over the last week or so. Devin, you're going to start us off. What have you been watching?
All the horror movies. I mean, not necessarily all of them, but like a good chunk of the horror movies. So in the run-up this week to the last Conjuring movie, I think it's called Conjuring: The Last Rites.
Yes.
I have been catching myself up on the Conjuring verse, Conjuring multiverse, whatever. Conjuring movies that I haven't watched before. So I watched Annabelle Creation, I watched The Nun, and I watched The Conjuring: The Devil Made Me Do It. I don't know how familiar you guys are with the Conjuring verse movies. I really enjoy them. I get that like they're not gonna be cinema and like they're not gonna be like high art, but they're fun like haunting movies. Like bits that I quite like the nun shows up in the background of some things, like Annabelle is like the big thing, and I don't know, I think it's really fun and really cool, and I had a really great time watching it. Ryan, specifically Ryan, what are your thoughts on the Conjuring universe movies as horror movies?
So, I am not a snob. So I am not going to say that they're not horror movies. They are. For some people, this is like the level of horror that they can take, and that's fine. And I'm like a little bit past that, so like I can watch any of the Conjuring movies. I don't really have any anxiety about it. They're not going to give me nightmares. I'm just going to enjoy the storyline and like the makeup and the effects and like the cool ideas that they come up with in the horror genre. For my wife, Kristen, these are like playground movies to her with the type of horror that he watches.
It's hardcore. Jeez. Oof.
Yeah. So like she loves the Annabelle movies. Her and I will randomly have like the Nun double feature nights where we watch Nun 1 and Nun 2 and just have fun with it because
I love it.
To us there they are. There is a bit of corniness to them.
Oh yeah.
But that's part of why I find them endearing. And also to know that like they're based on a true couple.
Mhm.
And like the things that they claim that they have gone through, I really couldn't care less the validity of any of the stories. I just find it interesting and I find it fun. So that's where I come at the Conjuring, Annabelle, the Nun, anything within that universe. Like that's how I approach it.
I actually kind of like the cheese in them. I'm kind of with you though, where like they are like fun horror movies. Like not a lot of them make a lot of sense, but that's okay. Like there's a lot of like, internal logic where you're like, guys, don't split up. We should split up. Or we're like in the middle, they're like, okay, you just saw a creepy nun run into the woods and it's very foggy out. How about don't follow her? How about don't follow her directly out into the middle of the woods in the middle of the night? Nope, you're going to follow her? Great.
Yeah.
It's just, oh, they're so good. Alan, do you have experience with this series?
I do not. I always get these confused with the other Patrick Wilson horror movies.
Insidious. Also same director, by the way.
Yeah, which hence the confusion.
Yeah.
But the new one came out. So my question for both of you is, can I go into the theater to see this last one without having seen the other ones? Being vaguely aware of the Nun and Annabelle and all of that. Like, would you recommend me just going in and seeing the last
Honestly, yes. I think yes, because I think that, like, while you will get a lot more out of, like, I know the history of the nun and how the nun got to have too much starch in her wimple. Like, that's going to be, like, fine for you. But the fact that you're like, I'm aware that that is something that's in another movie, you'll have fun. They'll still be fun. I say do it. I don't think it's necessary.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, all of the Conjuring movies can be watched on their own.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Period. I mean, yeah.
Devin, how much do you know about the Annabelle doll right now?
Like, what it's doing?
Yeah.
I know it's a Raggedy Ann doll. Like, I know it's like...
Yeah.
And then I think, like, isn't it in Vegas now?
It was on tour recently and made its way to central Pennsylvania.
Why?
In Gettysburg, where its caretaker died mysteriously in his hotel room.
What?
Yeah. I'm not even lying. This is something that actually happened.
That's like a new like they don't have to stop the Conjuring verse. We have a new chapter.
Well, no, there is another chapter to the Conjuring verse where Ed and Lorraine Warren were on the MTV show Road Rules. Like in the first season, they were on that show.
What?
That's the final movie. Like that's what I want to see. I want to see them just on that show.
That's incredible.
Yeah. But
also, that's crazy. I just found it. That's crazy. I'm going to send this to everyone I know after the podcast. This is the best.
Except for the guy who died.
Yeah, right, but it's the best plot of the new movie. They can keep James Wayne still got a career. We can keep going.
You can put Civil War ghosts behind them, like
it writes itself. Guys, wait, hold on. Did you guys watch the Ghosts of Gettysburg things when you guys were little? Ghosts of Gettysburg with Mark Nesbitt.
No.
Why? Oh, guys, it's so like seminal as a person.
Not the Nesbitt, but I saw a handful of documentaries on the Ghosts of Gettysburg.
Oh, guys.
And I went to Gettysburg a lot when I was a kid, and I did one of the tours. So, like,
I've done a tour.
How was it?
Devin, have you never done a tour?
I've never done a tour. Never done.
Next time you're in town.
I had all of the books, like those like thin like folio books that were like blue and red and white. We were like Ghosts of Gettysburg 1 through. Yeah. I had all of them. I watched all of the VHS tapes, like almost rare. Like, I would love to do a haunted Gettysburg tour.
It was like 1998, so I don't really remember that much.
We have to do this one. I just looked it up. There's specifically Mark Nesbitt's Ghosts of Gettysburg tour. I have to do this. I have to meet my hero, Mr. Nesbitt.
Well, Devin.
Oh, this makes me so happy.
Next time you're in town, we will make.
I gotta get into town soon. I really gotta get into town soon.
We will secretly record it for the podcast. And
yes,
our commentary. Like, why not? You have to haunt this podcast.
I love it.
Come out here before the end of October, then we could just do a Halloween special.
I wish I could come out there before October. It may be November. Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. All right. Well, since today's main topic is a mockumentary, another mockumentary came out over the last week. Peacock dropped the first season of The Paper, which is the spin-off to The Office. Ryan, are you familiar? Have you watched The Office at all? Are you interested in The Paper at all?
I have seen maybe 2, 3 episodes of The Office, and I have seen probably 40% of the show through GIFs and clips online.
Yeah,
It's about right.
So,
including our group chat earlier.
Most of our group chat.
yeah.
Yeah. Devin, what's your history with The Office?
I think I've rewatched it maybe 5 times and set like the end. This is gonna. I'm gonna sound so awful. Like this is like probably the most millennial take on this you'll ever get. But like watching the last episode of The Office for me still feels like saying goodbye to a friend.
Yeah.
Just
The-
does.
I wish you knew you were in the good times before you left them line. Like that's still.
Yeah. Oh.
Um. I've watched The Office a few times, maybe 2 or 3 times. And I'll watch it if it's on. Uh, but I was very skeptical about this show. And then they do something very interesting in the first episode, which I'm glad they did. They explain why this show exists.
Yeah.
Because the documentary crew in the later seasons of The Office you become more aware that there's a documentary crew. So the documentary crew goes back to Dunder Mifflin. The spoilers for the first episode of the paper, but they leaked this online before anyway. They go back to Dunder Mifflin. Dunder Mifflin is gone. It's Bob Vance from Bob Vance Refrigeration.
I'm so happy he's back.
Explaining who bought out Dunder Mifflin, that they're based in Toledo and they just make paper products, which I don't know if it's genius or not, but I did not put together. Okay, it was a paper company. This is a newspaper. Like it makes sense.
Right.
Like the conglomerate didn't click with me until I watched that. I was like, okay, this makes sense. And then Oscar's just there because he took the buyout and moved to Toledo.
You know what though? I'm so happy it's not the Oscar show plus new people.
Yeah.
At least I've only seen 2 episodes so far, and I like the judicious use of Oscar and the judicious use of callbacks.
When we decided we were going to talk about this on the show tonight, I also had only watched 2 episodes. Since then, I have watched the whole first season.
Wow. Wow.
Um,
That was hours ago, Alan.
maybe. I will say this: there are characters on this show that I don't like. I don't think I'm supposed to like them. And they do a really good job of making them the villains of this show. I like the 2 leads a lot.
Yeah.
Donald Gleason is really good. Like I wasn't sure what he was going to be like in a comedy because I've only ever seen him in like Star Wars or Ex Machina. Like
Right.
I really like him in this. And I like how they use Oscar just enough.
Yeah.
Like they make subtle callbacks to his time at Dunder Mifflin, but nothing too direct. I really enjoyed this show. I'm excited that it got picked up for season 2 already.
Oh, did it? Good.
Yeah.
Good. You know what the thing that I thought was really cool is the one character with the beard. I can't remember his name, but he's the one that I think he is like the manager of the entire paper conglomerate.
Mm-hmm.
He always wears a suit. I like how much he very clearly bases his character on Ricky Gervais from the UK office to the point where he has some of his mannerisms even. Like some of the like looks to camera, some of the nuance.
I would not be surprised if they said that they were related.
That would be a funny twist. Unless you're teeing me up for something later.
No, I'm not.
Oh, okay.
No, like he's one of those characters I just don't like. Anytime he's on screen.
Oh yeah,
ugh.
but on purpose.
Yeah.
Purpose.
But there's some like there's some moments in this that remind me of The Office itself, like they do an award show type thing.
Oh, funny.
Without getting into spoilers. Yeah, I enjoyed this more than I thought I would. So
Yeah. Ryan, is this enough to get you to watch this show, or is this one of those like, if it's on in passing, but we've recommended so many shows to you at this point, this is probably bottom of the pile?
To be honest, I don't have a show list, so I don't have a pile to put it on. I really don't. Um, so it's just this is gonna be one of those shows that it's going to have to take um some more advertising time for me to be like, okay, I'm gonna carve out like an hour to like try it.
Yeah.
Just be yeah. So I mean, like, I'm still going through. Kristen and I just finished a rewatch of Gilmore Girls. We're going back to ER because we stopped in the middle of watching ER to do the Gilmore Girls thing. You got October baseball coming up. The football season just started. Hockey's around the corner.
Ryan's
So like, there's
jam-packed.
a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff that takes up my like TVing time, and I only have a few hours a night. So
Fair. Fair.
yeah.
Not to mention, so one more thing I want to say about the show. Having worked at a failing newspaper that laid me off, this adds another level of enjoyment to this and realism.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, I would say how close was it?
oh, very close.
Really? Like The Wire? Is that like a thing that they do where they have like
Oh,
The
yeah.
Wire and then they like
That's
copy
all
and
that
paste
paper
into
is
the
now.
template?
That's all
Is
the
it
paper
really?
that I yeah. They literally tore down their building and built a baseball stadium where I used to work.
Weird. Okay.
Yeah.
That fits with the plot in this show then.
It does. But yeah, like it's too real. But
Oh.
that's journalism.
Oh no. I'm gonna bring up Too Real later. We need to put
Yeah.
a pin in that one.
Okay. All right, let's get into today's main topic, the Rob Reiner film. I'm sorry, the Marty DiBergi film. This is Spinal Tap, which follows the band Spinal Tap on their American tour in 1984. This is a film that I had never seen before, but I've been made aware of it through pop culture for years. I knew the big reference of Turn It Up to 11. I've seen these guys on The Simpsons. And then when they announced that they were making a sequel, I was like, oh, I'm hoping one of the guys makes me watch it for the podcast. Not realizing Devin had never seen this either. But yeah, so I wanted to watch this, so this was my pick for the week. And that's my history with watching it for the first time. So Ryan, how about you? You're the only one of us who had seen this before.
Yeah.
Okay, so my first time watching this was probably in like 94 and 95 when I was 9 or 10. And it was around the time my dad noticed that I was starting to get into like trying to find out, like develop my own music taste. So like I was listening to like Van Halen, stuff like Van Halen and Led Zeppelin and Molly Hatchet, and I was getting in through like Kansas and Journey and stuff. So like my dad, he didn't say the words, but he was pretty much like, "Okay, son, it's time," and like put me down in front of the TV to watch Spinal Tap.
You need
He didn't say that again.
It is time.
Yeah, but like he didn't yeah, like he didn't exactly say it like that, but that's pretty much what it was. And I've seen this movie. I used to watch the crap out of this movie when I was like a preteen. Saw it maybe 4 or 5 times as a teenager, and probably, including today, have probably only seen it maybe like 3 times past the age of like 20. And that's only because I'd seen it so much when I was a kid. The bits in it are timeless. One of my favorite pastimes is watching musicalists take interview questions off of Spinal Tap to get like their reads from it, which I'm gonna bring up some of those interviews that I watched when I was younger later. But this is just a classic. Like whenever people bring up, like old style comedies, when my brain works the way that I want it to, Spinal Tap is one of the movies that I usually list.
Okay.
Incredible.
Devin, what is your history with Spinal Tap? Having never seen it before.
Guys, all right. I have a confession to make, and this is going to sound tangential and not like it's actually related, but I promise it's related. I have a character flaw. In fact, I have two.
We're aware.
These are the only ones, the only two I'll share on the podcast. The first one is I'm very easily tricked by mirrors. I went into a store the other day, and there was a mirror off to my right, and I didn't realize it was a mirror. I went, wow, this store's way bigger than I thought, and why the hell's that guy following me? And it took me, like, a silly amount of time to understand that it was a mirror and that was me following me. Right? This is real. This happens all the time in restaurants. If they have that glass thing, I'm like, oh, the booths go back farther than I thought. Just happens, right? So, like my inability to immediately recognize a mirror when I see it, I also have a similar inability to immediately recognize a mockumentary when I see it. Has haunted me forever. The TV series Documentary Now, which is billed on Netflix as a comedy mockumentary series, I got through the first half of an episode and went, this is really serious. I don't like this, and turned it off, and then asked someone if they slipped a real documentary into the fake funny series, because I can't get it. So, I mean, with that setting of the table, the first time I ever watched Spinal Tap, I think it was on VH1, because they showed it on it sometimes, and I went, I don't know this band. I don't know if I care about this documentary they're doing, and caught none of the funny things. Probably made it an hour in of this hour and a half movie, and went, I don't get it, and then turned it. So then, fast forward in time, in the early 2000s, VHS did a series called I Love the 80s. Did you guys watch this?
Mm-hmm.
And the 90s and the 70s.
Yeah, I was obsessed with these series. I loved it. Specifically, I Love the 80s. And on it, they bring up Spinal Tap. And they talk about it's hilarious. And, oh my God, the scene where the amp goes up to 11 and the Stonehenge. And I went, I think I missed it. This was a comedy. It sounds so funny. Let me watch it again. So in the summer of 2022, I turned on Spinal Tap. I think I rented it from Blockbuster with my dad, going, I'm going to laugh every minute at this. This is going to be so absurd and hilarious. And I caught zero of the jokes and gave up after 30 minutes. So I just don't know that I was smart enough to understand Spinal Tap the first two times I tried to watch Spinal Tap. That's my history with this.
All right. So, Devin, I have to ask you this question.
Okay.
To what extent does your documentary, mockumentary blindness go? Do you know that The Office isn't real? When The Office was on and the 40-year-old virgin came out, oh, wow, that guy looks a lot like Michael Scott.
The only reason I knew that it was a comedy was because the first introduction I ever had to The Office was a commercial in front of a movie in which Michael Scott was like, this is incalculable. And I'm like, oh, that's a comedy. And then was fine with it. But if it's movie length and you don't give me enough preamble and the comedy is this subtle, I bet you I wouldn't catch it.
Okay.
If nobody told me Best in Show was a comedy, I bet I wouldn't have caught it.
Okay.
You have this problem outside of comedies, because when we watched the I Love Lucy movie, we had to have a 10-minute conversation with you about the interviews in the I Love Lucy movie.
That's it. It's not even.
That wasn't a comedy.
Listen, you get someone in front of a background and you ask them a question and have them staring in the gun of a camera. I'm gonna think it's real.
I want to come to Devin's defense here for a second, because back when I was in college, Devin was in a mockumentary that I made.
I was!
And it was based on real events, so I can see how you get confused. Your real life experience of that probably plays into everything.
That's it.
Wow.
That's it. That's a good defense of me. Not anything that I would have come up with prior to that. That's what I'm going to blame it on.
All right.
I blame it on Chad.
Have you watched any of Documentary Now since you learned that it's a comedy?
Not even a second of it.
Oh man, you have to.
I bet it's so funny.
So wait, you watched the first episode of Documentary Now, right? Or did you just pick a random one?
No, it was the very first episode, which was it was about some guy, right?
No, it's Sandy Passage, where it's Bill Hader and Fred Armisen in drag.
Yep, didn't catch it at all.
They're doing a riff on the documentary about the Kennedys who got like abandoned by the Kennedys.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's very funny.
Every mockumentary that they do is based on an actual documentary.
I gotta watch this show now. Well, now that I see Sandy Passage, it looks so obvious it's those two. I just did not catch it, at all.
Yeah. I'm trying to think what the other ones are. There are some very good ones.
Have you seen Documentary Now, Ryan? Is this is this genre your thing?
I think this is the first time I'm hearing about it. Is this the one with the comedian that the British comedian what's her name? No, it's not that.
No, it's Bill Hader,
Okay.
Fred Armisen, and Seth Meyers produced it and wrote it with John Mulaney, and each episode is a different a take on a different documentary. So there's one that's a rock documentary. There's Juan Likes Rice and Chicken, which is a spoof on a sushi documentary that came out. They do a.
Is it Jewel Dreams of Sushi?
Yeah.
That I've seen that documentary. I've seen that one.
You'll love Juan Likes Rice and Chicken. Then they do a Talking Heads parody. There's a whole. They do a bunch of stuff, and they get a lot of great guest stars in too.
Oh,
they do one about
incredible.
a cult. They do one about there was a documentary with the cast of Company doing their cast recording. They do a parody of that called Co-op. And it's got John Mulaney in there with Richard Kind, and
man,
it's great.
Those are my favorites. All right,
Highly
I gotta watch this. Yeah, gotta watch this now. But yeah, that's two of my character flaws now. Bad at mirrors and bad at mockumentary.
Okay.
Okay.
I just about the mirrors, I have to say, I'm sorry, but after me commenting about the fact that you remind me, I see you growing up as Gene from Bob's Burgers. That sounds like a Gene skit from Bob's Burgers, going into a store and not realizing that the person following him is a mirror image.
It literally, it happened to me on Saturday. That's how recent. This isn't past Devin growing up. On Saturday, I thought it was being followed in a clothing store.
I'm just saying that fits to a T. I'm obsessed with that show at the moment because I'm watching 2 episodes a day. But still, it fits.
Oh, good.
All
but
right.
no, that's my history.
Okay. Well, speaking of animated shows, my introduction to Spinal Tap was on The Simpsons.
Oh.
Because they actually do come up. They come to Springfield at one point. I'm going to look up the episode. So let's talk a bit about the music. Devin, were there any songs that stuck out to you?
Yes. 2 specifically. The first one was Stonehenge, which I've watched their rendition of Stonehenge for number 2, and it's so good who they get to do Stonehenge in number 2. I love it.
Yeah.
And then what was the other one? What did he call it? And it's mostly because the punchline to the joke is so funny, but it was like Pound on My Meat Stick was my other favorite song.
I'm a big fan of Tonight I'm Gonna Rock You Tonight. Ryan, how
Oh,
about you? You're the Spinal Tap expert here.
Uh, honestly, it's Big Bottom
yes.
and Big Bottom and I'm gonna stutter over the. Give me some money.
Mm-hmm.
Um, simply because Big Bottom is a spoof off of Fat.
Yeah.
Yeah. I really like their rendition of. Oh, Ryan, we
Oh,
lost
I
you.
think we lost your audio, Ryan. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
The rendition of what?
Heartbreak Hotel, when they're trying to figure out the harmonies at
Yeah.
Graceland, like right next to Elvis's grave.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Ryan, what were you
it's
saying?
I'm sorry.
What were you saying?
Yeah, Big Bottom because of that. That's bringing in Queen.
Mm.
And then Give Me Some Money because like that's how a lot of the British classic rock bands that kind of bridge the gap between classic rock and hair metal, like at the start of hair metal in the 80s, like that's how a lot of those bands started out in Beatles-esque bands in the 60s.
Oh yeah.
And
Yeah.
so that there is just perfect. Like it's cherry on top of like that joke.
I
Yeah.
also just really enjoyed Cups and Cakes. What a friggin' silly song.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I just man, there's so much good in here. Like I know I don't know if we've like talked about it, but like I love this. Like now that I know, like now that I'm like prepared that it's a comedy, and now that I'm like prepared that it's supposed to be funny, it's so funny. I love this movie.
Um, was there, Devin? Was there one moment in particular that stood out to you as like the funniest bit?
It was the part that I laughed out loud at. Yeah, and it was when he was playing on the piano, and he's like, "Oh, you're actually playing something quite soulful. This is quite different." And he's like, "Yeah, I like to experiment and really, express myself." Like, what do you call this piece? He's like, "Pound my meat stick." It's just so funny.
Ryan, how
Like,
about you? Is there a part that sticks out for you?
Okay, so for me, and this has to do with an interview that I saw, and I forget the artist, but it was either Ozzy or oh crap, the guy that Wayne and Garth get tickets
Alice Cooper.
to go see, and they Alice Cooper. It's either Ozzy or Alice Cooper in an interview explaining this movie, and they said that they've had the experience of getting lost backstage trying to find the stage and like turning the corner and like and like yelling because they never knew when they were going to be on stage, so every time they turn a corner they would like yeah. So that scene in this movie always reminds me of that, and just thinking of like either Ozzy or Alice Cooper backstage lost with their band going rock and roll, it's like hello Cleveland, and then it's just a brick
there's
wall
nothing.
that they're turning into and then having to do it again.
I love it. I think
Yeah.
like so that pin that I talked about earlier about being too real. Like I had done a wee bit of research before the show, and like there was a lot of people that like rock stars after the show that were after this movie that were like,
Mhm.
yeah, that's not far from what just happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
for me, it was the moment when they all come out on stage in those like giant cocoon things, and the one
Yeah.
doesn't open, and the roadie has to come out and like get like hammer it open to get him out,
Hit it.
and he
Mhm.
never does.
No, he stays the whole song in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Did you guys do a
Yeah.
lot of research into like the real life band inspiration for a lot of the stuff that they had done? Because like there's a lot of little references.
It's a lot of little stuff, but it's also like I don't know how much you got into the research for this, Devin, but a lot of this is improvised.
Yeah. Oh
Like
yeah.
they didn't have a
Mhm.
script. They had outlines for how scenes would begin and how they would end, and then the actors would just go for it. Um, to the point where Rob Reiner tried to get all the actors credited as writers, and the Writers Guild said, no, we're not doing that. So
That's insane. That's such a shitty move.
But no, were there any in particular, like, specific references that you caught?
There was one that I caught, and mostly just because of it's a place, or it's an idea, or an excuse for me to brag about where I live. I know, for example, that Eric Clapton made his name because it is a mix of boring first name and place in London, right? There's a place called Clapham Pond, and Eric is a boring first name. Nigel Tufnell is exactly the same thing. Nigel is a boring first name, and Tufnell is a park in London. So he named himself the same way that Eric Clapton named himself, which is very funny.
Nice.
There's also just like a lot of little stuff. Like, I think the most obvious one, and I don't know like how obvious it is to like not me, but like Led Zeppelin's Jimmy Page used to do his guitar solos with a violin string or with a violin bow. So then in Spinal Tap, they do the guitar solos with an entire violin instead of the bow, which like I thought was really funny. It's probably a more obvious reference, but I liked it a lot. That one I like caught without looking up. I was like, Jimmy Page! Then like was proud of that.
Ryan, how about you? Is there any specific references in here that caught your eye?
I'll be honest, I don't know enough when it comes to these things about, like what references are place or person specific. For me, it's just the things that naturally happen.
Yeah.
So I think this is the closest I can get to that, is where they show up in the US and they have their limo driver. And the limo driver doesn't even know the band enough, even though they're supposed to be this popular rock band, to have the sign. The sign he's holding doesn't say Spinal Tap. It says Spinal Pep, because he doesn't know the band. And then like them cutting him off because he starts going into a Frank Sinatra rant. Mm-hmm. And he's like, oh, this is just a fad. And I've had that conversation when I was a teenager with plenty of people and coworkers about the music that I was listening to, that I'm sure the bands got it themselves. So like a reference of just, like experience, I guess, would be the closest thing I could do to answer that question.
For me, it was when they're all sitting at the diner and the girlfriend's like, I drew up these sketches, and they're like them all as different animals, and their manager's like, do you know how much this would cost to make them all animals? We're not doing this. Like, this is ridiculous. It's just like a stab at Kiss, I think, was awesome. Devin, since you're our British resident on this podcast, our British expert, I want you to take a moment and think of what is the possible connection between This Is Spinal Tap and the Harry Potter series.
The Harry Potter series?
Yes. There's an element from this film that inspired the writer of Harry Potter, whose name I'm not going to say. What is it?
Was it the Thames Men? No. Their original band?
No. Ryan, do you want to take a guess at this?
I don't know this.
Was the house that they were interviewing in front of in some of the scenes?
No.
No. Draco Malfoy's house?
It makes sense.
So when she was writing the Harry Potter series, the drummer bit was the inspiration for there being a different Defense Against the Arts teacher every year at Hogwarts.
I like that a lot. Guys, did they kill their drummers? Is that like? So the bit is that like they keep dying under very mysterious circumstances.
No. So, I don't know if it's that, but from what I remember from, I think it was the 3rd anniversary. No, it had been the 25th anniversary. When their 20th anniversary, when I saw all of these different interviews, that during that era, there were a lot of bandmates that died for different reasons, car accidents, overdoses, heart attacks, because of just the lifestyle. I always took it that was that reference, that like there was just this one band member that just kept on dying because that's just what happened to, people in bands back then.
Yeah. Yeah, they've done a lot of talk shows and interviews recently. Like they're going to be on Conan's podcast next week. They were just on Kimmel. They've done SNL like as Spinal Tap. So
what?
Yeah, there's a lot of things hyping up for the release of the sequel. And I wanted to take a minute. You guys need to pull up the feed so you can see this because I have the image pulled.
Yeah.
They teamed up with the water brand Liquid Death. Devin, do you guys have Liquid Death over there?
I'm not surprised.
We don't know. That brand completely failed over here.
Okay. So they're releasing a Spinal Tap 2 case that's usually it's like a 12-pack. This one is an 11-pack, so there's just like a cutout of where the one can would be.
Nice.
So I got the email today. Each one is signed by the cast of the band, and they go for $1,000.
That's so cool. Those look incredible.
Yeah.
Do they? Oh, that's really cool.
Have you guys seen the trailer for the sequel?
I have. Were you going to talk about the water bit they do in it?
What's the water bit in that?
So in it, apparently in the new movie they're going to come out with a series of water for them that's shaped like Stonehenge, and it's just called tap water. And they're like, "Oh, is it mineral?" They're like, "No, it's tap water." Mm-hmm. Which I love.
They've got a lot of cameos lined up for the sequel. They've got Elton John, Paul McCartney, other ones that I don't want to spoil. Were there going back to the original film quick? Were there any faces that you were surprised to see in this? Because there were a few for me that caught me off guard. It's like, oh, I know them. Like
Judge Reinhold was in it for like half a second, wasn't he?
Was that him? Know if he was. Where was he?
Maybe. Then I'm going to say Fran Drescher and forget we said Judge Reinhold.
Okay.
Fran Drescher did surprise me.
You never expect Judge Reinhold.
No, you never do. I never do.
Billy Crystal surprised me.
Did you catch Dana Carvey the mime?
I caught the mime. I didn't realize it was Dana Carvey until after the fact.
Mm-hmm. Same.
Mostly because he didn't talk. I'm trying to think who else it was. The limo driver that we talked about before, that was Bruno Kirby, who was in When Harry Met Sally.
Fun.
The woman who designs the tiny Stonehenge, that was Angelica Houston.
Who is?
She was Morticia Addams in the Addams Family movies in the 90s.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Fran Drescher.
Yeah.
The nanny.
Yeah, that was the part that actually made me the most mad because I knew Fran Drescher from The Nanny.
Yeah.
When I saw this both times, I don't get how I didn't think that was funny or knew what she was. I guess like original me was like, I guess she also does rock producing. I don't know.
This is early in her career, and then she went off to be the nanny.
Is that really like her trajectory? Is she in anything else?
Beautician and the Beast.
That's not a thing. Don't you be like that.
It is.
Ew, come on.
Oh, let me pull up the description for this. She's also in UHF.
She is in UHF. I forgot about that.
Oh, where is it?
So while you're getting that, I think the one thing that like isn't the most endearing about this movie is that it's like a peek behind the curtain of rock bands.
Yeah.
Does that still stick with you guys? Like, do you think that it's still kind of like that? Because I was wondering that. I'm like, is this what like Bruno Mars is dealing with now?
Bruno Mars was dealing with crippling Vegas debt there for a while, so I don't think it was to this extent. I think some bands it's still like that. Like you look at Motley Crue and how their tours go.
Yeah,
It's probably still like that for them.
that's pretty cool.
Considering how like how poorly you can understand what he's singing. Like it's just really bad. Yeah, I think it's toned down. Like it's toned down a lot. I think if any artist still has a life like this, it's Weird Al Yankovic. Like he's on tour right now.
I hope it's like this. I hope it's exactly like this. I hope it's not the calm, relaxing thing that I know it is.
He's playing his accordion with a guitar. Like,
yeah,
he would though. He would.
Well, to the extent this movie also doesn't go as far as it could, because it was this era of bands. Well, actually, it was them from the 60s through the 70s, and then this came out in 84. So like in the 70s, that's when you had like hotel rooms being trashed, TVs being thrown out of rooms into pools. If you you can read, I believe I don't think it's an autobiography, but it's a biography about Ozzy. That has him snorting a line of ants because he was so like hopped up night at a party that like he was literally doing everything, and he saw a line of ants and he grabbed a straw and did a line of ants. It's in the book. It's in the book. And so I feel like they didn't go as far in this as they could with some of them, but I think they like kind of hinted at it, because one of the gags that they do in this is at the launch party of the tour. Nigel and the lead singer, I forget his name, have obvious herpes on their lips.
Yeah.
In the party. And then they're not on their lips going forward the rest of the series. So like they just appeared for that and then they're gone. I feel like that was kind of a hint at like the lifestyle that they had prior to like the time and era that the documentary was on. But I don't think bands have had that presence backstage since probably the 90s.
Yeah.
Because you don't hear about those stories anymore. If they do happen, they're better at putting a lid on it. But yeah, like what Alan said, I think now these older bands, when they're and even younger bands, like newer bands now, I feel like things are a bit more nailed down. Where it's kind of just like a slog to go on tour at this point now than it would be like like the drug fueled days of the 70s.
Yeah,
like a rolling party.
All right, so Devin, I'm going to read you the description of this movie, and
I've been waiting for it.
Okay, a New York City cosmetologist, mistakenly thought to be a science teacher, is offered a job to teach the children of an Eastern European dictator.
What the hell?
Starring Fran Drescher. Who do you think plays the dictator?
Okay, when was this?
1997.
97.
Yes.
I was gonna say Sacha Baron Cohen, but it's too early for him. I'm gonna say John Candy.
I'll give you a hint.
Okay.
He's played a well-known British character that we've talked about.
Steve Gambon.
Huh?
Steve Gambon.
No. Timothy Dalton.
Timothy Dalton?
Yeah.
What?
With
Tito?
a mustache. Yeah.
He's got a mean mustache. A mean mustache.
Have you both seen this movie and just haven't been telling me about it?
I watched it in it was on HBO in the 90s, and my mom watched it, and I got stuck watching it. So
that's so funny. Wow, what a movie. What a good counterpoint to this genuinely good movie.
Yes.
Oh no.
Tune in next week where we make Devin watch.
Please don't. I don't want it. Usually I'm enthusiastic. I don't want that. Don't ruin T-Dalt for me. He's too precious.
I'm trying to see if there's anyone else in here that you would like. Not really.
Oh. Do you guys think this movie... I was thinking about this, like, reading some of the, like, facts. Do you guys think this movie punches down at all? Because I know that, like, afterwards, a couple of rock stars, like Aerosmith, right? Steven Tyler was specifically, like, Aerosmith was going through a bad time. I think they were making fun of us for doing that. But I don't know.
They don't get specific with any one group. I think it's broad enough that if you're taking offense to it, it's so ridiculous and out there. You need to look back and reflect on the mistakes you've made in life.
It might say more about you than it does about the movie.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, because like, was it I can't remember who said what, but I know it was different. Like, everyone has had like album signings where no one showed up, or like three people showed up. That's happened to the top, like to like the top names in the industry. Set design going wrong. It happens. Malfunctions on stage. It happens. It's happened to everyone. Yeah. Steven Tyler, for as much as I like Aerosmith, Steven Tyler is Steven Tyler, and I don't care. I don't care.
You might say he's jaded.
What did you do?
He's looking for those sweet emotions.
Oh wow! Yeah. You know more songs from them than I thought you would.
Yeah.
That's too many.
Well, I follow Aerosmith because I don't want to miss a thing.
Ouch! Don't go chasing waterfalls. Yeah. That's not them.
Yeah.
Devin, even the right genre of music.
Devin, you can try to make the references that I do, but you're gonna just have to dream on.
I hate it. Why are you like this?
Alan's really reaching for the toys in his attic for that.
Was that a reference?
God, that's an album, Devin. Like one of their main top albums ever.
and on the way to the attic, I'm going to be making love in the elevator.
Guys, I'm so bad at Aerosmith. How do you know so much Aerosmith? Is that your guys' favorite band of this ilk?
No, it's not.
No.
Who is?
Not at all.
Like who do you see in this? Like is like the band that like exemplifies for you this era? Because like I don't know who that is for me.
I mean, it's a little bit later than this era, but probably Bon Jovi.
Yeah, you know what? That might be it.
So this movie at different points makes me think of these bands. I get Molly Hatchet references in this movie.
Sure.
I get Led Zeppelin references in this movie. I get Rush references in this movie.
Yeah.
And I get they just flew right out of my head.
Queen.
Yeah. So Queen, because of thank you. That's the Big Bottoms one. But so like that's where like to me it's that era. It's like 70s. And that's what like my dad's music era was. Like my dad listened to Kansas and Journey and Molly Hatchet and Led Zeppelin and some of the bands that came out of the 70s into the 80s. Aerosmith was stuff that he would like listen to. So like this was perfect for him. This would have been like for me if they would have come out with the Spinal Tap mockumentary, but it was around a band that made music like Incubus did, or Lit. Better yet, Lit. Lit would have been the perfect band to make a mockumentary, like a modern day Y2K Spinal Tap movie, using the band, because they had their 15 minutes of fame. They were right in the middle of everything. Like that would have been perfect.
That would have been.
Yeah, so like that's
all right.
Right.
That's all I've got.
Love it.
On the podcast for this week. Ryan, next week is your pick, correct?
Yes, it is.
What are you
and
gonna
I have it
watch?
lined up. So this is a movie that I was going to have just Devin watch, but I want to get this movie in before the season ends. So we're going to be watching the 2013 film Rush.
Okay.
Ooh, yeah. Okay, you were gonna have me watch this.
This is the one that has Chris Hemsworth in it, right? We
Yeah,
established that it's
his
Chris Hemsworth.
God, his
Okay,
hair
yeah.
is so nice.
So I want to get this movie in before the end of the F1 season, and I was trying to get this to line up with the release of the F1 movie. Things happened that didn't happen, so I'm doing it
Yeah.
now.
Very cool.
Nice.
All right. So join us next week where we talk about the F1 film Rush, starring Chris Hemsworth and directed by Ron Howard. I guess our theme for this month is just movies directed by that guy from that TV show in the 70s. First we had Rob Reiner. Now it's Ron Howard.
Oh, it is. Ooh.
Yeah.
Devin, the challenge is on to find a different director from the 70s.
I will.
That was
I
on
got
it. That was on a Norman Lear or on a sitcom.
Okay.
But in the meantime, you can follow You Have to Watch This podcast on Facebook and Instagram. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can watch all of our older episodes. And subscribe to our podcast wherever you get your podcasts. Until next time for You Have to Watch This podcast, I'm Alan.
I am Ryan.
And I'm Devin.
And we'll see you next week. Rock on, Internet.
Aww.